When you think of a multiplayer experience in a video game, what do you picture in your mind? Maybe you see yourself with a headset talking to other people online while sitting alone in your room. Maybe you get a bag of chips and decide to chew obnoxiously into the microphone, attempting to make the random people you're playing with upset, causing them to verbally abuse you and your family, possibly through racial slurs. And sure, that's the multiplayer experience now, but before every game was online, you could only play with people in the same room. I know, what a shock, right? At first I thought explaining this whole concept would be gratuitous, but given the demographic of my audience since the Free Realms video, I guarantee that some people watching this haven't played a local multiplayer game. And I really don't mean to get all 90s kid on you or whatever, but seriously, the next generation of new gamers won't have any split screen games. These kids won't have to physically fight their friends over whether or not someone was screen peeking. They won't have to switch controllers so they could get the side of the TV that they wanted. And while they might play with their friends, they won't actually be with their friends. They'll all be alone in their own houses. And honestly, I think they're missing out on what, in my opinion, was the best way to play video games. I would spend days at my friend's house doing 10-hour-long couch co-op sessions. And sure, you had to play in split screen, but you got used to it after a while. But now I think the last game that I actually sat down and finished with somebody was Resident Evil 5. And in that game, you definitely needed to play cooperatively, because Sheva's AI in that game was absolute trash. And it's not like offline co-op or competitive games don't exist anymore, they're just few and far between now after slowly being edged out of the market by online gaming. In fact, a lot of really good local multiplayer game franchises have taken a very steep fall from grace. Like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, for instance. Those games were the bee's knees for the first 4 or so titles, and I would mainly play them with friends. But when they released the HD version back in 2012, the game was completely devoid of any local multiplayer. Quick sidebar, I want to know whose idea that was, because it's the reason Robomoto has never gotten any of my money. In all seriousness, their games suck, but I digress. I think the last great local multiplayer games were Guitar Hero and Rock Band. And sure, you could play them solo, but you could tell they were designed for you to invite your friends over and make some music together. And I had a lot more fun with a full group of band members than when I happened to play these games alone. But to some people it was just an inconvenience because they wanted to have the whole screen to themselves. Now I'm not saying that games with online only multiplayer are bad, it's just sad to see a game that could have had local multiplayer but doesn't. Like newer racing games. I mean, come on, I cannot believe that racing games are now refusing to let you play on the same screen. Pong had local multiplayer, and that's one of the earliest games ever. Even the Magnavox Odyssey had local multiplayer, but things have changed, and gamers have become more content with staying isolated while reducing all other people to just a noise in their headphones. Actually, there's an extremely vivid memory I have of the exact moment I realized that local multiplayer was about to be a thing of the past. Me and my friend were playing a certain popular tactical first-person shooter in split-screen mode against other players, until he ended up dying more than he was used to. So he exited the game and restarted it, saying that he just needs the whole screen to play this game right now, and then just went on playing online with me in the background twiddling my thumbs. There are only 2 genres of games that have always stayed true to their roots and remained faithful to local multiplayer, and they are the sports and fighting game genres, mainly because they're perfect for local multiplayer, allowing everyone to play without split screen, and these games need the couch party, because that's the way they're meant to be played. And if you think talking shit online to some random people is fun, oh boy, try looking your friend dead in the eye as you celebrate your undebatable victory. No arguments of lag, latency, or a spotty internet connection, just a test of skill between 2 people with a winner and a loser, and you, my friend, have just got your ass handed to you. And now I'm not making outlandish claims like online multiplayer ruin gaming. I've played games with a lot of people that I wouldn't be able to get into the same room with, and because of the internet, I've even made friends in other countries, but the fact is that online multiplayer has brought strangers closer while also pushing others away. Because why actually hang out with someone when you could just play online? But despite all of my complaints on the subject, I do have to note that I do most of my gaming on a PC now, making me sorta hypocritical in some ways because local multiplayer is mainly a feature for console gamers. But I would be more than willing to invest in a console if it was able to give me a high quality local multiplayer experience. But most importantly, I want to know your opinions that you have on the subject. Do you think that the days of arcades and split screens are over, and consoles only need to have one controller now because everybody would obviously rather play online? Or do you think there's still room in the games industry for a great local multiplayer experience? Please let me know in the comments section. In the event of you enjoying me open the discussion on various topics in gaming, or if you're a fan of the Games You Might Remember series, then hit that subscribe button because there's now new content every week. If you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me, then the best way to do that is through the Daily Quest Discord. There will be an invitation in the description, and we also have a Facebook if you're into that sort of thing. Peace out.